Hello, and welcome back. As you can see, today we're doing this about Furina, all of her fun stuff. As is expected at this point, all of this is subject to change. The live stream hasn't come out, and I will not be discussing teams because she works basically everywhere. I'll get that further in her synergies. But if besides that, again, everything's subject to change, and yeah, let's get right into it. Moving on to artifacts, as you can see, her best in slot is Golden Troop, followed by Marsase Hunter, as she can always get that 36% crit rate bonus, followed by pretty much any 2-piece Hydro, 2-piece HP, so Tenacity, Nymphs, Heart of Depth, all that shebang. Moving on to weapons, of course her best in slot is her signature, Splendor of Tranquil Waters. It has a base attack of 542, she doesn't care about it. It gives her 88.2% crit damage, which is always nice, and the passive, which gives her more max HP whenever her health fluctuates, and more elemental damage bonus to her skill, much the same. What you're going to be wanting to run with this is a crit rate circlet, or a HP circlet, an HP goblet, or a Hydro goblet, and an ER sands. Her next best weapon, which is direct competition of Fav, is Primordial Jade Cutter. Has a base attack, doesn't care. 44.2% crit rate, which is always amazing. Gives you an HP bonus of 20%. Again, amazing. That you're going to be wanting to run a crit damage or a HP circlet, HP or a Hydro goblet, and an ER sands. Most obvious weapon, of course, is the Fav sword, because of course it is. Base attack doesn't matter. 60.2 ER. Amazing on her, as she does have some pretty big ER problems, and then whenever she crits, which is pretty often because she ascends with crit, it'll create some particles, which is amazing for the entire team. What you're going to be running to run with that is a crit rate circlet, or an HP circlet, a HP or Hydro damage goblet, and an HP sands. Next, and surprisingly last, as it scales off of HP, you have Kiev Kajny Suit. With 66.2% HP, technically it's 86 because of the passive, and it gives you a bit of EM. It's not the greatest, unless your party needs EM, and if Furina works how we think she works, it might be a bit better, but if she doesn't attack all 3 times when you proc her skill, it's just not better than Fav. With that, you're going to want to run a crit rate HP circlet, HP Hydro goblet, ER sands. You know the drill at this point. Next, let's talk about her skill. Of course, I'm only going to be talking about the more important one, the Ouija one, because it does damage. Her skill creates 3 little guys, which incrementally attack. One attacks like once every 1.5 seconds, one every 3 seconds, one every 4.5 seconds. And they're all independent, I believe. I do not know. But they do a lot of damage, and then it scales off of the amount of teammates above 50% HP. Next is her burst, which makes her so good, so Jesus Christ damn good. But it does small portions of damage, not too much to worry about, but also buffs your entire team by a damage percent, which that damage percent scales off of your the percentage of health lost or gained, meaning that you're going to want to have a full team healer, because that's how you get the most HP gain. And of course, it's absolutely fucking broken. You can gain up to 75% damage bonus on every single character in your team at C0 from this. And, might I add, she does a shit ton of damage with her skill. It is not okay. Next, of course, you have my substitution for team comps, is you can really throw Furina in anywhere and she's gonna be good, except she does need one thing, a dedicated healer. Now this could be a Charlotte, it just needs to be a full team healer, so things like Charlotte, Jean, Baiju. I mean, you can get away with like an on-field Chi-Chi, I guess, but anybody, even Barbara. I mean, Barbara's really good now, just because you can use her with Furina. But in general, you're just going to want to run an on-field Hydro or on-field healer, and if you want a bit less consistency, but perhaps you like the character more, you can use a single target healer as long as their healing is enough that it grants you enough stacks. Now, moving on to Constellations, her C1 increases her max fanfare stacks and increases the starting fanfare. So instead of needing to go for 300 stacks max, you only need to go for 250, and it increases the maximum damage bonus from 75 to what I believe is 100% damage bonus. For C2, increases the stacks gained, which is absolutely insane. You can run fucking Bennett and get away with it. It's that much. And then it also increases her max HP, which is just a damage multiplier of 1.4. Insane. C3 increases her burst numbers, which is always great. Her C4 just gives her more energy, fixing her energy problems. You don't need to run energy sands, and just makes Fav just kind of worse than everything else. And then her C5 just increases her skill damage, which, again, she is doing a solid bit of damage, so it is a very nice buff. And now finally, the biggin, the C6. The most important constellation on any character in this game. And guess what? It makes her into the best damage dealer in the damn game. It's not the best, I'm over exaggerating, but she is insanely OP in this state. It makes every single hit she does do 15% of her HP, which, might I add, her HP, if you're running like Hydro stuff, if you're like, her HP is 40k at the very least. I'm gonna be honest, you're gonna be at 40k pretty easily with her best builds. But like, it's insane how much damage she is going to do at C6. She can heal, don't worry. She's gonna do so much damn damage that it doesn't matter how much she's healing. Just imagine yelan, but just imagine yelan, but she also buffs 10 times more at this point, and she also does more damage upon more damage. Like, this character is yelan plus ultra. It's not okay. This character is not okay. But I mean, it's a fucking Archon. What do you expect? But yeah. The big question: should you pull? If you watch the video, then I would say you probably want the character. So yeah. But again, if you have any doubt in your mind that this character is not for you, incorrect. I'm sorry, but this character is going to be insanely good. I would consider her to be borderline, like, on Nahida tier. Probably not on Nahida tier, but she is insanely good. A lot of teams are going to use her as their best just buffer. She does a ton of damage as an off-field, like, it's the same as fucking Albedo, and then she also gives you damage bonus, and then also it's also Hydro, which is like, straight up, Furina's just better than Albedo in every single team where Albedo is used. You can just use Furina. It's sorry, rant, but again, like, who thought this character was a good idea? Okay, so we're at the end of the video. I kind of ranted a bit, but it's just because this character is a bit nuts, to be expected, and it's only going to make characters like Neuvillette even better. Surprisingly, Rio is not actually benefited that much from Furina's release, but doesn't matter. She's just way too good, and yeah. I tried to make this a bit shorter. It is slightly shorter, so I hope you appreciate that. But yeah, see y'all. Peace.